the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 286 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, I made it back from the Deep South alive.
In multiple ways, right?
Yeah, right?
The car survived.
Yeah.
The family didn't, implode, I guess.
Yeah. We didn't
I'm
90-degree southern heat.
Wow.
It was, the heat was so bad, James. The heat was so bad.
Well, the heat in the car has to be terrible too when you're there.
Yeah.
locked in with the whole crew.
Well,
holy cow! I give you a lot of credit.
The 12-and-a-half-hour drive that I decided to extend by 4 hours when I decided to visit another racetrack.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sure the whole family was really thrilled.
No, they were on board with it. Everybody was excited about that. Yeah, they all enjoyed that. That was not a. That was not
an Eric Young special.
No, that was something I threw out at the last minute. And
nice.
Everybody, my wife was like, yeah, why wouldn't we? It's like, oh, okay. I didn't even have it fully out of my mouth yet. And she was on board. So, yeah.
What a saint she is.
I know, right?
Absolute. What a gem.
She enjoyed the whole weekend. The boys enjoyed the whole weekend. Of course, they didn't go to the cup race. They probably would have enjoyed the cup race considering how short it was. But yeah.
Well,
it was a good week.
I can't believe it. It's funny. I was watching the race. I'm like, man, Eric made it all the way down there.
I know. I was
can't
wondering
believe
if
you
it was
drove
going to happen.
it.
I know. I was wondering if it was going to happen too. Well, last year we did Darlington, and so last year the whole deal was we went down to North Wilkesboro, of course, and I planned the whole route out for going down to North Wilkesboro, and it's like, okay, go to North Wilkesboro, watch the races. It's only a couple hours south of that to go to Darlington. Well, I never thought about the return home last year, and we're sitting there in South Carolina the weekend of the Darlington race, and I'm like, I probably should check and see how long of a drive home it is. And because it was like 10 hours down, and sure enough, it was an 11 and a half hour drive home. And it's like, oh crap. Well, then because the race was Sunday, the holiday was Monday. My wife wanted to get back to work on Tuesday. So, and I had Tuesday off, but she wanted to get back to work. It's like, well, crap, let's see if we can do the whole thing in a day. So we did the whole drive home in a day. Last year. And so this year, the 12 and a half hours, and we split it up to 2 days on the way home, was not too bad. So we did about 8.5 hours the first day. And then the second day was only supposed to be about 4 hours until the tire went flat and we had to wait at the repair place for an hour and a half too. But,
well, you were in that, what place, that I won't name when you blew the tire, which, I mean, that's par for the course when you're in that neighborhood of Michigan.
Right. Well, we also went through the crap. We went through the crap hole of Ohio too. So thank God we didn't break down in Ohio.
Well, your tire didn't blow in Ohio. It blew a little further north where the maize and blue hang out. So
right. Now,
that's all I have to say about that.
And then today we're getting rain, which is nice because it's going to wash the giant ass freaking Kentucky bugs off the windshield. Holy crap. I thought it was raining as we were driving home. It's just bugs hitting the windshield in Kentucky. They were huge. They were massive. It was like quarter size hitting our windshield.
We take for granted the blessings we have being surrounded by these Great Lakes.
Yeah. What I learned, James, is I learned the difference between a dry heat and Michigan heat. Okay. So what the difference is that when you're hot, you sweat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And sweating cools you off. And if you're in dry heat, the sweat evaporates and there's nothing to cool you off, so you just cook.
Oh man.
And especially when you're on asphalt standing on pit road at Atlanta Motor Speedway, you wind up sitting on the floor with ice packs on you outside the bathroom inside the Xfinity Series garage. Trying to cool off as you and your two children really get close to heat stroke.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
well, I was waiting. I've been, of course we pushed the podcast back a day, and
right.
I've been waiting to hear stories. So I'm glad they're starting to come out now.
Yeah.
Of all the chaos that goes into being down in Atlanta. Oh my God.
Yes. Well, friends in the world of NASCAR hooked us up with garage passes, so we were able to get down in the garage, and yeah, the heat heat was too much. We hung out down there for qualifying. I'll tell you what, Atlanta had the perfect setup for qualifying to where you could have met any driver you wanted to meet. I'll give credit to the Cup drivers. They were out before the garage went hot because we had the boys with us. So once the garage went hot, they had to leave the garage. We weren't in the Cup garage for 3 minutes, and the boys spotted Ryan Blaney and ran over to him and got his autograph.
Oh,
and
man.
Of course, my son Ryan was excited because his name's Ryan, and
Just a couple of Ryans cutting it up.
Yep. And then Stenhouse was helping push his car through tech, and they went up and gave him a fist bump and told him good luck. And we waited outside Kyle Busch's hauler, and Austin Dillon was right there next to him, and we got booted out of the garage before they came out, so they didn't get to meet them. But Ryan did get, or Ethan got, William Byron's autograph, which happened to be the winner, so that was pretty cool.
I'm actually jealous about that one.
Right? Yeah. It's pretty cool. So
one of my 17 favorite drivers. So
right. Well, I'll talk more about the Atlanta experience here in a few, but let's talk about the race first, because that's why people tune in. They don't care about me going to the race.
No, that's all right.
So Quaker State 400 Atlanta Motor Speedway, or the Quaker State, what was it? 297? I think it was like 270 something.
270 something? Yeah, 270 something. Whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I'll tell you what, James. I will say, as we mentioned, William Byron gets the win here in the rain shortened race. I will say that I was going to do the math beforehand and figure out how many NASCAR races I've been to in person, but it's been a lot. I've been to a lot of NASCAR races. I've had the privilege to go to several tracks over the last few years, and I will, without a doubt, tell you that this was the absolute best race I've ever been to in person, ever. It was absolutely incredible. Just spectacular. I don't know if TV translated. It seems to have from the talk on social media and all that afterwards, but I've had races rained out, and I've had races that have rained where I've been, thank God it's rained so I can leave because this race is terrible. And I've had races that I've been so upset that they rained out because I wanted more. I wanted more of this race, but I didn't feel like I lost anything with the rain out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got everything we were going to get regardless. Yeah,
I mean, it was William Byron didn't. This is like when Bubba Wallace won at Talladega a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And you got to be there at the right time, and Byron was there, and by God, he spun. He got penalized. He did everything that they could do not to win the race, and all of a sudden there he was, and he said, I heard him talking about this after the race, but he said basically he thought the car was hurt pretty bad and was just kind of settling in for the day, and all of a sudden they found themselves restarting fourth. And he drove it to the front. He drove a brilliant race as far as I'm concerned. I mean, when you've got that many issues going on and you find a way to win with everything going on here, that was one of a, not taking anything away from him, that was a special one for him.
Yeah, it was a really interesting race the way it laid out because, like you said, everybody knew. I mean, I heard during the pace laps they were talking on TV during commercial because I listened to the TV broadcast most of the time. They were talking about rain. A lot of teams were already talking about rain. Some of them didn't get notified until at the end of the first stage, but for the most part, everybody knew that they were racing toward rain, and they just didn't know when it was going to fall. So it really split up the strategy, especially where the cautions fell too, because there were opportunities to pit at different times, and it was just a matter of which cycle you were in on that deal. Like, I mean, obviously I think Brad Keselowski wins that race if they weren't on the wrong cycle when it came to the rain.
Yeah, but there was nothing he could do.
No, absolutely nothing you could do. It was just how the cards were dealt, and they, of course, they dealt well for Hendrick because it seems to always work that way, and William Byron ends up being in the right place at the right time. But it's also not like Byron was just put in the lead and the caution came out. It wasn't a Justin Haley at Daytona situation. It was he still earned the spot. I mean, still raced to get there. Yep. So he held people off.
Yeah,
I mean, he held people off for like 12 laps or something at the end, didn't he? Wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. So yeah, he was driving hard. And it was, I think the drivers now understand how the draft works a little bit at Atlanta because, like you said, Eric, this was the best race you'd seen in person. I don't think it's the best race I've seen this season as far as what I saw on TV, but it was definitely the best speedway race I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
Because you had guys guys were figuring out, they know the runs now,
Right.
and the cars don't handle very well. I mean, you heard Ross Chastain say he never ran a full lap all out.
Right.
He was off the gas quite a bit. He was struggling regardless. I mean, he had a different, his car was a,
It really didn't help when that 43 was in his rear end.
Well, I'm telling you.
Hey man,
Did you go watch the replays of the instance that Eric Jones was in?
I mean,
because you came for me.
Every incident in the race.
Well, you mean he didn't spin Larson. Larson spun himself.
Sure. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right. I'm not even going to go over the rest of it because you're
Okay.
just not
Yeah,
gonna
he
have
spun
it.
himself.
Anyway.
Anyway, you're right. He did spin out on his own with his rear tires in the air. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Also,
just because Eric Jones is your boy, man, I'm not gonna give him a pass.
Well,
I
don't think you watched it.
Look, he had to race. I mean, I don't think he was over aggressive. He was aggressive, but I don't think he was
but
over aggressive.
He also wasn't the root of the problem. The only one that was,
he didn't wreck anybody. He just happened to be involved in them.
Ty Gibbs has a beef with him. That's the only one I would put on him because he squeezed him pretty good.
I was giving Jones a little bit of crap, especially because I know you're a big fan.
You just want to do the thing. I know. It's
one of your favorite drivers.
One of my 17 favorites. Yes.
But
the other thing I wanted to ask you, Eric, because this came up on TV, and I wanted to know what you saw being there in person.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr.
Oh my God.
He went rim riding. And all of a sudden, it looked like he was on a different level. What was that like when you were up there watching that? Did that translate?
It was. Who the hell is that blue car? Like all of a sudden, he just passed like 3 rows of cars, and he did it in the next turn. It's like, where is he? He's going to be in the lead in 2 laps the way he's going. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, and everybody saw it. Yeah, it was. So when you're sitting there, of course, I was right towards the end of the double dog leg. So just as they make the second curve on the front stretch. And so the corners are pretty far away and you're not seeing the cars super clearly. And I've got old eyes too. But man, it did not seem like there was enough room to fit a car on the outside. It is incredible to see them go 3 wide in those turns at Atlanta. It is a skinny track. And to see them do it and not wreck is incredible. I mean, just absolutely.
Well,
absolutely incredible.
You've seen cars in person at Daytona.
Yep.
And that track, to me, I mean, the track looks massive, but
this track makes Daytona look wide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Daytona looks thin to like when I was at Daytona, I'm like, man, I can't believe they race the way they do around here. Yeah. And then you go to Atlanta and it's got to be like a micro.
I will say
like a micro track.
I will say, having seen Talladega in person now, Talladega doesn't look as wide as you'd think it does either.
Yeah, not as massive.
It's still a wide track, but we're used to Michigan, James. Michigan is so freaking wide. The only track that's wider than Michigan is California. I mean,
not anymore. Right, California's a parking lot now.
You can fit like 8 cars side by side comfortably at Michigan in the turns if it wasn't for the grooves. So, so we're spoiled when it comes to wide racetracks. These all look skinny to us compared to what we've seen. But yeah, no, what Truex was doing was absolutely amazing. I'm surprised he didn't. I think he didn't keep it up longer because I think everybody figured it out pretty quick and started blocking those runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he was dangerous. I thought he was going to be the guy to come up there and get the win because of what he was able to do.
Nobody else tried it, and all of a sudden he just figured it out.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That was amazing to me, and I thought, I thought Blaine, like the end of the first stage. There's so many good things that I saw.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
This
like
really
the end of the first
felt
stage
like
was super racy.
Early to mid 90s Daytona.
Yeah.
You had pack racing, but it wasn't 3 wide Talladega pack racing. It was single file somewhat. You had the slingshot back, which was incredible. That move that Christopher Bell made going into turn 3, where he drove down to the bottom? I mean, that type of stuff was just incredible. And I didn't hear any drivers complain afterwards about not being able to pass or the package or anything. Everybody praised it seemed. So I think, and we've talked on here before. First of all, if they did this to Michigan tomorrow, I would stand up and applaud. But at the same time, I don't want to see this anywhere else because it's special here. I think I was a little worried before this weekend that Atlanta was going to weather and it was going to lose this. But after seeing what I saw on Sunday, I don't think that's the case. I think this track has just enough to give us, again, it's not going to give us Talladega pack racing, but what I didn't realize until Sunday is that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I want this. I want close racing. The leader was never more than 4 cars ahead of second place.
Yeah.
And when he did get that far, you got reeled right back in. But you could make moves, you could make passes, you could make up time. I mean, guys could go to the back and come to the front, and it wasn't a wreck fest, you know? I think it was building to be. I think if we'd have ran all the laps, we would have spent the last 20 or so under caution more than under green.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It just seemed like the absolute perfect formula. I think nighttime helped. I think the heat helped. It wasn't that hot at night, but it was plenty hot during the day, which got the track nice and greasy. I think it's just a perfect storm all around. I hope it duplicates every time they run there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the stands were better than what they've been in the past. There were still a lot of empty seats. And if people are smart, those seats won't be empty next time around, man.
Well, I think too, I know NASCAR is pushing that they put this race at 7 a.m. for the fans.
7 p.m.
Yeah, sorry, 7 p.m. 7 a.m. would be great for me.
Right.
But no, I just think that's a load.
Well, I will say this, James. First of all, the only reason I went to this race because I wanted to go to Atlanta, but there was no way in a million years I was going to an Atlanta summer race in the day. The only reason I even got tickets to this race was because it was a night race. Having been down there, even more so, I would never sit in the stands and I love NASCAR. I would not sit in the stands for this race.
And but I also don't think that they put it on a Sunday night thinking about the fans.
No.
They did that strictly for TV.
Oh, yeah,
they didn't
definitely.
care. They don't care about whose butts are in the seats. They're trying to make
I've got an argument about that. And you've got Sunday night racing here on the notes, and we're already all over the place. So let's just
all over the
let's
place.
keep
We're just going. Yeah,
There's not much structure tonight.
No.
So I have a thought on that because first of all, I don't care when they run it. I'm going to watch it. I'm a NASCAR fan, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I watch it too.
I've heard a lot of people complaining that we don't want Sunday night races because the fans come to the track, then they had to take the day off the next day and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't think I've ever gone to a NASCAR race where I haven't taken a day off anyway. So you just take Monday off instead of Friday off. Who cares? Mm-hmm. So that's no big deal. Personally, from a personal standpoint, when I'm sitting at home, Sunday night's perfect for me because as a lot of people have said, I got stuff going on Saturday and Saturday night, stuff during the day on Sunday. My wife wants to do stuff on Sunday. We want to hang out with the kids. The kids go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I can get everybody settled down and have dinner done and everything by 7 o'clock and watch the race on Sunday night. It's perfect.
Sure.
And I know that the ratings maybe didn't really agree with that this week. I was really hoping they'd do better. But man, I think it's a slot that the 2 slots to me that make sense on Sunday. My favorite one was when we were in California on Father's Day weekend the one year and the Michigan race was on. And it started at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was awesome.
In California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finished lunch and the race was over. And this, I mean, in between that, I hate races I hate 4 o'clock starts more than anything. If you're going to start a race on Sunday, start it at noon. Don't start it at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock sucks, but 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, perfect. But
I just think if you're
going to do a 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Sunday night start,
here we go.
Then you run a 300-mile race.
There you go.
You don't run a 500-mile race.
That was where I was going.
And I think, again, this race was the perfect example. If this race was longer, wouldn't have been as good. There was urgency. And yes, a lot of it was because of the weather and they didn't know when it was going to end, but that's the point. And I think Jeff Gluck said, Jordan Bianchi said it on the Teardown this week. The only way to duplicate that is to just not tell the drivers and teams how long the races are and just reveal it halfway through the race when the race is going to end.
Yeah.
But,
that was my thoughts exactly. What you nailed it because that's where I was going was, this is great. But if that was 400 miles, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
But if you move these times around, but you shorten the races, I'm all for that. I know most purists are going to get upset. Like, oh, you didn't buy a ticket to sit in the stands, blah, blah, blah. But I just think the product is better when you add urgency to what these guys are doing. The cars hold up over 600 miles now. It's not about that anymore. Yeah. It's about the entertainment factor. And if you're going to Atlanta is built to be WWE and not actual, pure racing, right? Yeah. It's an entertainment facility.
I do feel like there's enough of that racing though. I mean, I feel like you're still getting it. It's not, like I said, it's not Talladega and Daytona to where it is WWE almost.
Yes, but it was built for a purpose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
For what it's doing. Well, it's doing what it's supposed to do.
It was built to make a track that nobody cared about anymore relevant. Because the only people that liked the track were Kevin Harvick and a few of the drivers. You know, the fans didn't like it. The fans hated it.
Exactly. Yeah, it was, like I said, I love it. I don't want it anymore. Leave it like this. It's special. The
only reason I want it elsewhere, James, is because I want to go to another one, and I'm not going back to Atlanta for a long time. So
yeah. Tough for us to get down that way.
Yeah. 284.9 miles was the length of the race.
There you go. Oh, so see, we split the difference.
Yep.
We were both kind of close. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Yep. I'll take 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and it's a 300-mile race. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to say a word.
Yep.
And we all knew the race was over. There was no, you were sitting in the stands, and I messaged our group, and I said, no, it's over.
Well, and a lot of times I would say...
You all knew it. Everyone knew it.
A lot of times I would say I felt cheated because I didn't get the finish, but we had a hell of a finish coming at the end of stage 1. So I was even satisfied there.
And people griping about the caution again. I mean, golly, that's always something to complain about because
people are bitching because they didn't waive the caution for Harvick, and then they're bitching because they did waive the caution at the end. And
they called the race, Eric, like they would if it was late in any race. Yeah. NASCAR knew that this thing was done, and they weren't throwing the flag for Harvick. They wanted the guys to race.
Right. Everybody knew.
I have no problem with it.
If the caution came out, the race was over because if it's drizzling while the race is going on, it's not enough to stop the race. But if it's drizzling when you're under caution, you're never going to go to green.
We're never going to have sprinkling on the track and cars driving at full speed ever again.
No.
It's never going to happen again. Daytona last year ruined that. It's not happening. That's not... NASCAR's not going to risk it. That was a disaster last year.
Yep.
And one of the races we look forward to. It's the end of the regular season. It's an awesome race. And that race got just, annihilated with that rain that popped up.
Yep.
So we're not doing that anymore. And it's too dangerous too. I mean, it's dangerous and stupid, So I was fine with how they called this race. I know NASCAR is instant. What do they say? Inconsistently consistent.
Yeah.
Right. Consistently inconsistent.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. That's NASCAR, man. That's what they do.
Yep.
So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I had no complaints with the officiating. I think they did what they had to do. I will say, I know that there's people that are saying they called the race too quick. I was in my seat. They pulled him down on the pit road, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to the car because it's not going to stop raining. So I went and waited for, I don't know, a minute and a half in line for the elevator. Yes, there are elevators at Atlanta, just for the record. Greatest thing ever. Took the elevator down, went to the bathroom, and as I was walking out of the bathroom because I lost signal on the scanner, I get a ding on my watch, and I look down, and it's James messaging, "It's done." And as I come out, I hear them talking about the race being called. So it was called pretty quick. That being said, they could have. I will disagree with Dave Moody, who was talking on Sirius yesterday, yet wasn't at the track and doesn't know. It did stop raining. They could have gotten this race in or restarted, but they wouldn't have been restarting it until 1 or 2 in the morning, which is just dumb. Mm-hmm. It was the right decision. As disappointing as it is to be at a track, I would rather them call the race and me be able to go back to the hotel room at 10 o'clock at night, which I did, and get some rest to go home the next day, than to wait till 2 o'clock in the morning to see them finish it. It was all around the right decision. NASCAR did absolutely nothing wrong this weekend. As much criticism as I've given them in the past, absolutely nothing wrong with what they did this weekend.
Right. Yep. Neither do I. It was as good of an event with considering what we had than you could possibly hope for. You know what I mean? It was done pretty well. Can't do anything about it.
Yes. So William Byron gets the win with 19 laps led. Brad Keselowski, we talked about him. 19 laps led for him as well. He was the man at the right points in the race. He got the stage 2 win. It sure looked like Brad was going to have a shot till he had to pit.
I wanted it for him so bad, man. I want him to get one so bad. It's hard.
I would say, aside from Truex, who only ended up leading 5 laps and ended up finishing back quite a ways because of trouble, I think I think Keselowski was definitely the best car during the day.
Yeah.
He was really good. He was the only one that was up there. Like, you felt like he was up there because his car was fast.
Yeah, I thought Blaney and also I thought
that's
Larson
right. Blaney was really
fast.
good too.
Blaney was good. I thought Larson was fast too until he got into some stuff, and then his tire
I knew
exploded.
was going to wreck.
Oh, he always does.
He's just bad at these.
He would have been fine if his tire wouldn't have exploded.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, which is so strange because they came down pit road, they worked on it and sent him back out, and then it blows coming around in turn 3.
He said he flat spotted it and
Gotcha.
corded the tire, and then he was coming around coming into turn 3, and it just exploded on him.
Yeah.
I've only seen that a couple of times, but that was a big kaboom. Put the nail in his coffin for the end of the day.
Yeah.
Eric Almirola was just hilarious. I don't know if we'll ever see somebody leading almost 50 laps and not scoring any stage points.
Is that not just the SHR
season? It's SHR. Yep. SHR. Well, the other 3 SHR cars in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Even though Harvick had his issues, but the other 3. Good grief.
Yeah. Michael McDowell ran really well, which, you should expect, but for some reason always surprises me.
I had him in my fantasy lineup and pulled him out on Sunday morning. So dumb.
Yeah, I can't remember if I had him in or if I pulled him or not too.
So dumb. I was so dumb.
AJ Allmendinger finished 3rd. He hates these types of tracks, but he's
good at
been
these
good
types
at
of tracks, though. Yeah, he's always good.
Justin Haley was running pretty well, especially coming off a good performance the day before. Like you said, Ryan Blaney, he was definitely one too. He led 20 laps. He was definitely one also that was like, yeah, he's probably got one of the best cars. Chris Buescher led 39 laps, which, he was fast too, but I just felt like Keselowski had the better car of those two. Keselowski was the better driver of those two. 46 laps led for Eric Almirola and doesn't
didn't get one stage point.
Yeah. That's
pretty
funny.
incredible.
That's
I'm sorry. Yes, he did. He got one stage
10th
point.
in stage 1.
He finished 10th in stage 1. Yes, I'm sorry. So he did get a stage point. So I stand corrected.
What a
stand
mess.
corrected. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Man, other than that, JJ Yeley, shout out to him. Great run.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Top 10 finish, 7th place.
Yeah. Corey LaJoie was never a factor.
No.
Which stinks because he got caught up.
Well, he got wiped out by Eric Jones. See?
Eric Jones, yep. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I don't think Eric Jones caused anything maliciously. I don't think he drove over his head or anything, but he definitely drove as a driver, or like a driver that was desperate for a win and was on one of probably his last 2 chances to make the playoffs. Sure. Which I don't blame him. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Unless we're going to Darlington.
Yeah,
I will never rule him out of Darlington. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe 3. He's got 2 more shots. He got 2 more shots now.
Yeah. So. But yeah, like I said, just great race weekend altogether. I wish NASCAR would have moved the race up because there was talk Saturday that
they should have.
That the rain was coming. I think everybody knew it was coming. I do know that the forecast before the race, it was looking like it was going to get there on Sunday. It was looking like it was going to get there at about 11:30, and then it kind of what happened. Everybody keeps saying it moved quicker. It didn't move. Just it filled in front of the storm is what happened.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I was refreshing the radar religiously in the grandstands. But yeah, it was
thinking, dang it. Come on.
Well, honestly, James, I didn't want to have to try and drive home from Atlanta in one day, so I just wanted to get it to halfway.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I didn't want to come back Monday. It's especially I don't want to go out in the heat either and watch the thing.
The rain continues to follow NASCAR because we're taking it with us to New Hampshire.
Right. Well, and I will say, while it didn't rain all night, it was raining again when we left on Monday morning. So, of course, we stayed a half hour away from the track, so I can't guarantee it was raining at the track, but likely may have still had issues on Monday if they would have had to postpone.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But I think it worked out for the best. I think it was good. I think it's, again, I think it was a good example of here's a 300-mile race. Let's do these things, and we're gonna go do one this weekend.
Yep.
So
do them on. Yep. Do 300-mile races. 300-mile races on Thursdays and Sundays at prime time. I mean, Eric, tonight's the night where there's no sports on because of the All-Star game or whatever.
Yeah.
Baseball crap. Jordan Bianchi tweeted it, and it's a great idea. Boy, NASCAR could really use a short track race tonight or something. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
Well, I mean, short track races right now because they suck, but
well, they're gonna fix it on Monday. That's what I was told. So.
Yeah. Have you heard what the package is? What they're doing?
Yeah, it's wild.
So it creates lift for the lead car, and basically when you're behind somebody, it eliminates that lift, so it should make the front car handle worse.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I
don't know if it's gonna work, but I'd like to see it.
I
tell you one thing: we're not doing an emergency podcast like we did for the 550 package.
I think this whole fixing with aero thing is the problem, but I don't know. It's hard not to when we're so aero in the car. When we're so aero dependent anymore. It's hard not to fix it. Try to fix it with aero, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, William Byron with his 4th win of the season also regained the points lead, 27 points over Martin Truex Jr. That's with points penalties.
With a 60 points penalty.
He's got I don't have it in front of me, but he's got a good number of playoff points right now. Actually, I do have it in front of me. Let me find it here. He has 22 playoff points right now. Leads the field with those. Chase Briscoe has minus 25 playoff points. But at this point, I mean, are we penciling in Byron for Final Four? I mean,
he's at least in the 8. Penciling people in for Final Fours is really hard.
It's looking really good though.
It's really hard. Yeah, he should be in okay shape. I mean, we've seen guys with these leads do pretty well the last couple of years. So yeah, he should be good. I mean, the way his car's racing, like round 1 should be easy. Round 2, that's always a tough one because you got Talladega and Charlotte in there. But if he gets to the round of 8, that's Vegas, Homestead. I mean, pencil him in. Vegas and Homestead being in that last round, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
I have 2 unpopular opinions tonight, James.
I love this. Go.
I think I'll get them out of the way right now. First of all, my first unpopular opinion. I don't know if it's unpopular, but it will be on this podcast because I know you're going to disagree with me. My personal opinion, if a track can race at night, it should be. There is something about being at a night race that's even Kentucky, which was so bad, was better because it was a night race. I just feel like there's some tracks that can have lights that don't have lights that we should put lights in. I know they're taking a bunch of lights out at California, which just so happens to be the same size as Michigan. They could very easily just ship those suckers up across the country and put them in at MIS and run a night race there. It's just a better experience. You don't have to worry about the heat. You don't have to worry about the sun. And I say where possible because there's certain tracks, some of your road courses you're not going to run under the lights. You're not going to put lights in Indianapolis. And then there's certain, you're not going to run Atlanta in the spring when it's 50 degrees outside at night. I mean, that's silly.
Yeah.
But
on like Michigan, it's too dangerous for the fans to leave the track because it's so remote. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Every time I've ever left Michigan, I've left it in the dark. So
yeah, but that's after everybody's probably gone.
No, if you start a race at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon at Michigan, which we've
What are you still doing at Michigan at dark? You don't know how to leave that place.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. That's what's happening. You just don't know what you're doing. That's fine.
Anyway.
What a rookie.
Anyway, I don't know. I like night races. I think they should. I was a fan of getting rid of some of the night races before because the cars raced better in the daytime. I think that issue's gone now with this car, and I just say run them at night. Make it prime time. Give us a prime time show.
I'm not going to disagree with you because I like night races, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
I could care less in the spring or the fall, but in the summertime, I really like night races.
Yeah.
feel like he got a little bit more time. Things work out a little bit better. I don't mind. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Here is my other unpopular opinion. Chase Elliott's in trouble, James. He ain't gonna
I agree with that too.
He ain't gonna make
that's
the
a
playoffs.
popular opinion on this pod.
He's not gonna make it.
I can't go that. I can't go that far.
Dude, he is just not doing anything. He was a non-factor again. He was the favorite. He had, I know it's his home track, but he had twice the cheers of anybody else, including Kevin Harvick during driver intros.
That's gross.
He ain't gonna do it. He is not gonna do it. When he's running the way he is, when his teammate is running the way he is, I just don't see it happening, man. And again,
finished second last week.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, but second don't get you in the playoffs right now with your Chase Elliott.
I know, but he's got to win. That's I know.
I don't think he's gonna do it.
Eric, who won Pocono a year ago?
I don't care. He's not gonna do it.
Okay. Who's won at Watkins Glen multiple times?
Not gonna do it. That's my take.
I'm just saying he's got a couple of bullets in the chamber.
I don't care about previous years, James. How many races did Chase Elliott win last year?
A handful.
Won like 5 races or something, right? How many races he won this year? He's
he's
not Chase Elliott from last year. I know, and that's what I'm saying. He's behind right now. Something's up.
Of course he's.
Something's
naturally
not working
he should
right.
be behind.
Yeah, I can't believe you're defending Chase Elliott.
Neither can I. But I listen. I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't make the playoffs. I'm just saying I can't say he's not going to make the playoffs because I think he could win a race. He's Chase Elliott. He wins.
Because I'm saying this, he's probably going to win this weekend at Loudon and make it in. But
Hendrick will bring a good car.
I just think I'm out on Chase right now. I don't think it's happening this year.
God. Wow.
I don't think so. I think
wow.
if he hasn't done it if he hasn't shown enough promise at this point, and I get it, we're going to Richmond here in a bit. Richmond, his car finished second. I get it, but it don't matter.
Second at Richmond, yeah.
It don't matter. It ain't happening.
Oh man, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Here we go. He finished 11th at Dover. I'm gonna rip off his finishes. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Kansas 7th, Darlington 3rd, Charlotte he crashed. Sonoma 5th, Nashville 4th, Chicago 3rd. Sorry, he didn't finish second. And then Atlanta 13th.
Okay. Do those finishes get him in the playoffs?
He's got to catch people, but he's got to win.
They don't get him in the playoffs.
So it don't matter.
He can finish second every week.
His average finish right now is the same as it was when he won the championship.
The worst thing with Chase Elliott right now is he is chasing.
Why did we go down this rabbit hole? What the heck?
Because I listened to Sirius.
You're trying to draw a reaction on it. I can't believe this
Sirius
was it.
for 12 hours on the way home, James. And
well, that's it. There you go. There you go. That's your own fault.
I know, right?
12 hours. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sirius.
That's what the truck drivers do.
Right.
Listen to it all day. Yeah.
But the other issue that he has, and I don't have the cutoff in front of me, is there's a pretty decent likelihood that the cutoff he's shooting for is going to move, too.
Yeah.
So he's got to win.
I'm just saying, I think he could.
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's shown me enough to show me that he's going to win. I think there's too much competition. There are too many guys that are running well enough that I don't think he's going to do it.
It's rants like this, Eric, that make us go an hour and a half.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know, and then I'm going to look stupid.
It's your fault.
I'll look stupid next week when he wins, but that's okay. That's why we do this.
If he wins New Hampshire, I tell you what's going to be the best part about this whole thing is when we get to our picks. Have you used him yet?
Yes, I have. You were waiting for me to pick him.
I was going to say, darn it. I was going to say, I hope you pick him. That would have been great.
No, I've already used him.
Darn it. Oh, well. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was just going to say, just wait till I pick him.
Yeah.
7 cautions for 43 laps at Atlanta, the rain-shortened Atlanta race. Let's see. Noah Gragson, highest finishing rookie with a whopping 33rd place finish. This is William Byron's 4th victory of the season, his 8th victory in 199 Cup Series races. He has won as many races this season as he had in his entire career up to this point. So, good year for old Willie B.
Yeah, yes it is.
If he ain't the favorite, he should be.
I'm really excited. The one year I didn't do my preseason predictions for him, he finally breaks through.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you even like threw him, like you called him out preseason. Said you can't.
I said, "Show
him.
me."
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I said, "Show it to me."
Yeah.
And
I think we both did.
I'm not afraid to eat crow, man. I'm eating it right now.
No, I'm gonna eat it within the next 7 weeks too. So
he's the best. He's the best. That's the best team in the sport right now.
Yeah,
best team in the sport.
100%.
And I don't know if it's like the 5 team has its issues from time to time, but the 24 is the best right now.
Yep. Yeah, they're consistent
and Truex
every week.
is there too. Truex is up there too.
Yes.
But yeah,
again, Truex
is
sneakily there.
Yeah.
He's not in your face about it, but he's right there.
There's a little bit of a scuttlebutt going on that this is a farewell tour for the Martin Truex Jr. train. Did you see that?
I don't know. Where did you see that scuttlebutt? Because everything I heard up to yesterday was that he's coming back.
I don't know. Twitter's not the most reliable place in the world, but
right.
he said that he's going to make a decision on his future very soon. So then, of course, the scuttlebutt started from there. So I like to bring the scuttlebutt to you every once in a while.
Yeah, I
also like saying the word.
I didn't see it on Threads, so it must not be true.
Only legitimate things on Threads.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Twitter's where the garbage is. Threads is where it's at now.
It's all garbage. It's just what kind of garbage do you prefer?
Right. Shoot. What was the last thing I was going to talk about with Atlanta before we moved on? I don't remember.
Oh my God.
I'll have to come back to it because I'll remember at some point. But
yeah, well, we got plenty of time.
Yeah, lots of time.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Xfinity Series. NASCAR Xfinity Series did get their full race in on Saturday night at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Alsco Uniforms 250, which just so happened to be almost as long as the Cup race. John Hunter Nemechek gets the win after some drivers run out of gas on the green-white checker at the end. Notably, Chandler Smith, who likely had this race locked, I would think.
Yes.
Certainly was going to be a car leg victory, if nothing else. John Hunter had no business winning this race. He was up front, but he led 3 laps to win the thing. So, and he arguably, he didn't have a good car. He just has a good enough car and is a good enough driver that on a bad day he can still be up at the front in a super speedway race when a green-white checker happens and everybody runs out of gas. So, bummer for Daniel Hemrick, bummer for Chandler Smith especially. But another good race. I will say that this track definitely is better for the Cup car than it is for the Xfinity cars. But it still was a good race. And I think part of that is I don't think the Xfinity cars run a full super speedway package here like the Cup cars do.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different. So, it looks. I'm not fine with that. Xfinity Series can look a little different compared to the Cup Series.
This was definitely more follow the leader, but there were still opportunities to make moves, and they were learning throughout the night and all that. So, but again, it was a good race. The whole family was there for this one. They all enjoyed it. My son Ryan, who pretty much didn't watch any of the race, he was the most bored. Happened to pick John Hunter Nemechek as his driver. Chandler Smith happened to be Ethan's driver.
Oh no!
And Ethan was so invested in this race because Smith kept making moves to get up there, and then runs out of gas in the last restart, and he was devastated. And of course, Ryan rubbed it in his face because that's the type of kid he is. And we were so mad at him. It's like, dude, you didn't watch the race. Why are you so excited? But yeah, so John Hunter Nemechek was his pick. My pick, by the way. My family.
That's how you make fans, man.
My family. I didn't include my family in on the history of this track and super speedway, so I picked Austin Hill, and that was looking pretty good. Except nobody worked with him, and Austin was a little upset about that too.
Why is Austin Hill so freaking good at this style of racing?
No, man.
Even though I know Atlanta's a little different, but my God.
He started in the back, and he was in the top 10 by the end of the first stage.
He won a stage. What a freaking stage.
He was so good. And to be that good and whine at the end of the race because nobody would help you. Come on, dude. Nobody would help you.
He got his DVP in the Cup Series race the next day. So
yeah, right.
I guess it turned out to be what it is.
Who would help you?
Who would help?
Why would you help Austin Hill? Why would you want to finish second? Nobody wants to finish second.
He's so good, though.
He is.
God. He's going to win a Cup race at one of these these speedway tracks when he gets a legit shot at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Guy reminds me of Brad when he's out there.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
There's going to be some open cup seats, I think, and he's going to be on the short list. There'll be people looking for him.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Anything else with this one? Ty Gibbs bounced off the wall a couple times, struggled, still finishes 6th in this thing. Cole Custard ran well. Justin Haley had a strong car, led 80 laps, most laps of anybody all day. There was some controversy between him and Daniel Hemrick at the end. I'm not super familiar with it. I didn't go back and watch any of it, but apparently Hemrick was upset that Haley basically pulled over and didn't help him win the race. But I don't know.
Wait till we get to Black Flag.
I know.
And we talk more about teammates.
I know.
I wouldn't complain too much about that.
I know. As soon as I opened the notes up and saw you had it on there, it's like, oh, good. I don't have to mention that tonight.
Oh boy, you should have saw my reaction when I saw that happen. I was watching that too.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God.
I was not.
Yeah. I cursed out loud when I saw it with a question mark.
Can you believe at this point, with how he ran in the Truck Series, that
here we go.
Sheldon Creed
does not have an Xfinity Series win yet?
He's racing in the Cup Series, I think, this week.
He is. In all the races, all the races he has led, all the races he's been in the running to get a win, good old
Sheldon Creed
has not won a race in the Xfinity Series yet. He led 24 laps here in this race until he wrecked.
He's inconsistent.
He is.
He's just inconsistent. He qualifies well, but he doesn't. He just makes silly mistakes. Like, he leads laps. He does what he's supposed to, but he's just inconsistent.
Yeah.
But that's part of that's why you're in the Xfinity Series, though. You gotta, take your lumps. He started off the year. I mean, he had a tough start to the year, but he started to pick it up, and then he's up and down.
I'm not saying he should be dominating, but the fact that he hasn't won yet is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I feel like when Sheldon gets to victory lane, he's gonna knock off a few.
Yeah.
He's better than that,
It's he does the opposite thing for me. Like, I can't figure out Alex Bowman for many reasons.
Yeah, right.
And Alex Bowman doesn't lead laps. Sheldon Creed leads laps, and I can't figure him out. It's like the opposite. Like, it's always I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, he was a world beater in the Craftsman Truck Series, and now he's strong. I mean, that's part of it though. He's, I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a couple here before the end of the year, but he's got to hone in a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't surprise me any week if he wins. I think, to me, the most shocking thing is that he hasn't won yet.
Yeah,
because he's been up front so many times.
Well, he almost won Talladega.
Yeah, well,
he was there.
He had Darlington until the last lap last year when Larson tried to pass him.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that one. That's so good.
Yeah,
that was probably the one.
Yeah,
because that was all his. Oh my goodness.
Ryan Sieg's worth mentioning here. He finishes 37th, but led 15 laps, and he was up front. Was part of, I think, the wreck that took Riley Herbst to 2. Who also ran well. 3 laps led for him, but he was up toward the front. This one was it still wasn't. Neither of these races were the crash fest that I expected, but this one was a little wilder than the Cup race.
Yeah,
he had a couple stack ups here. So, John Hunter Nemechek 3 laps led to get the win. And I mean, these are the types of races that you expect John Hunter Nemechek to win, right? He's got Cup experience. Yep. He's an experienced driver. He's basically, playing in the kiddie pool right now down in this series.
That's what he's been doing for a handful of years now.
He should be winning these races that he shouldn't win.
Yep.
That shows you that he's still probably a Cup caliber driver.
Is
he a championship contending Cup caliber driver? No, but he's definitely one you want to look at if you're looking to fill a spot in a Cup Series team.
Like I said, if Martin Truex Jr. steps aside, you got a guy who can come right in.
Yeah, you got to imagine he's the next in line for one of those. I mean,
he'll get the next Toyota.
Him or Sammy Smith, though. I mean,
yeah.
That's the worry you are with John Hunter Nemechek is, are you going to get passed by Sammy Smith, who's been in the pipeline?
Well, I mean, this is the long play for John Hunter, so
Yeah.
he's still going through it at this point. But yeah, I mean that's troubling, but I think he's ready.
Yeah.
He should be there by now. I mean, he's been there, so.
Points leader by 16 points over Austin Hill. And Sammy Smith, speaking of him, was the highest finishing rookie in 10th place. Fifth victory in 84 Xfinity Series races for John Hunter Nemechek.
There you go.
The Camping World, the Craftsman Truck Series was in action in the middle part of the country, in mid-Ohio, of all places.
You could have went and saw that on your way down.
I know, we passed. I mean, we didn't really pass the track, but we kind of passed the track as we went down. Mm-hmm. Corey Heim gets the win in this one. I will admit that my full knowledge of this race is from the 8-minute highlights clip that they posted on YouTube. I did not watch any of this. But
you want to know my experience watching this race?
Sure.
I was at a bachelor party, and it was on the TV at the bar I was at, and I'm like, well, I'm going to check that out. And boy, was it a barn burner? Caution lap after caution.
Well, that's
lap
why I
after
wanted to
caution
look
lap.
and see, like, what was the longest period of green flag in this race? Because it was just
Eric, every time they went green, it felt like there was a caution, and I'm just like, okay,
10
all
cautions for 23 laps in a race that was, how many laps did they run?
They ran
67.
67, yeah.
Almost half
it
the race was
bad.
under caution.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
And you know, the funny thing is I heard that they ran in the rain, so I'm like, oh, it was bad because of the rain. No, it wasn't.
No, it had nothing to do with
the track dried really quick.
Yeah,
They just
were racing
couldn't
in the
drive.
sunlight. Oh my god,
It
What
looked like a
mess.
demolition derby. It was.
Oh my god.
Mid Ohio's not that tough of a track.
Well, for these guys, it was.
Well,
Good lord.
In the Arca series.
It was cool to see Marco Andretti out there, though.
Yeah.
I was kind of pulling for him.
Oh, you just get ready. You get ready. If you
gonna-
like Marco Andretti, I think you're going to see more of him.
I'm gonna be angry with him in about 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to be busy on Sundays here pretty soon.
Has something to do with, maybe
It might have to do with a underfunded team that suddenly got a lot more funding from a sponsor that happens to have a really good connection with Andretti.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
wonder.
is actively looking for additional charters.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Because their charters aren't for sale.
right. Yes. Yeah, I noticed that Front Stretch asked them the question, but didn't ask the question about whether they're looking to bring on partners. Just asked if their charters were for sale.
Mm-hmm.
We know Andretti's sniffing around, and if you're going to be sniffing around, there's only a few teams you're going to be looking at buying into.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that.
I don't understand. Marco's an interesting one to me because I don't understand why he retired when he did.
Yeah,
He was only 33 years old.
I think you got a Jimmy Johnson situation, and he wants to go do other stuff.
He was so young.
Yeah, I don't know.
He had so much stuff to do.
19th place finish for him. I saw one of the highlights was him sliding through the grass, so
Yep.
he got the full truck series experience. Good for him.
He did that. Yep.
Corey Heim leads 30 laps to win this thing.
A lot of them under caution.
Yeah, Ben Rhodes leads 19. Matt Crafton led 1. Ty Majeski led 17. I saw Rhodes and Majeski got together too. So the theme of the weekend was teammates.
I don't even know. Yeah, it was. Definitely was, especially at Mid-Ohio.
Right.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say about this. I was so frustrated.
Yeah. Fourth victory in 32 Craftsman Truck Series races for Corey Heim. Another one I think has got some talent. We're going to see him in the future in this sport for sure.
Yep.
He's leading the point standings with 26 points over Zane Smith, which is another one that I think I'd be pretty surprised if Zane Smith wasn't in a Cup ride next year.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
you're going to see him in a Front Row Motorsports car or a Stewart Haas car. It's going to be one of those
Yep.
two.
He's being primed by Ford.
Yep. So
Yep.
Nick Sanchez, 9th place, was the highest finishing rookie in this one.
There you go.
On to the news. I already mentioned Corey LaJoie. Well, I guess I didn't mention. We didn't talk about Gamebridge. So Gamebridge comes on board with Spire Motorsports as a primary sponsor this season now. I believe it's a multi-year agreement. Am I correct in that?
With Andretti Autosports?
Well, they're not part of the deal, according to everything. But yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
So I would not be a bit surprised if at the end of the season we find out that Andretti has partial ownership of this team.
Well, especially with the way F1's fighting him off right now. So.
Right. And then, of course, Corey LaJoie, close to signing a multi-year contract extension. If you're Corey LaJoie, who probably is, would you say that now with Josh Berry locked up, that probably the best free agent at this point, James, for somebody to jump on? Would you think in the Cup Series?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to imagine that there's a couple teams that could improve their situation if they grabbed onto him.
Yeah, did you see my tweet? I was pretty proud of
didn't.
myself. When I saw that he had signed the multi-year.
Well, he hasn't signed it yet, right? Yeah.
We're working on the multi-year. I said, boy, that stint in the 9 car really locked that one in for him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. I feel like the reason, I feel like the fact that he's close to signing a multi-year extension here when he likely has another option somewhere, I think that is the writing on the wall for what is going to happen down the road with Andretti.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more funding to this team.
I think everybody's trying to think that they're Trackhouse.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's going to be hard.
No, I agree.
It's going to be hard for everybody.
I agree. Let's put it this way. They're not all going to do what Trackhouse is doing.
Legacy's struggling.
Yeah.
2311.
Legacy's
2311's probably pretty close, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Trackhouse almost could have won.
2311's won as many races as Trackhouse did, and they started at the same time, so I guess I can't put one over the other. It's fairly close. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
We got the worst kept secret in NASCAR was announced this week. Anheuser-Busch will sponsor Ross Chastain starting in 2024. I know you're really excited about this move.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So when does the watermelon flavored Busch beer come out? It's got to be coming.
Sure, by the time the Daytona 500
yeah,
comes rolling
Daytona
around.
Special. I don't know when is harvesting season for watermelons. I guess we need to ask.
I guess that's a good question. We'll have to ask Ross.
Yeah,
we'll have to ask Ross that one.
Ross should know that one.
Yeah, I saw 18 races primary for this deal.
I did see that somebody pulled one of the Reddit sleuths pulled an Ask Me Anything with Justin Marks from a year ago, where he was asked what would be the number one sponsor you'd like to go after, and he said Anheuser-Busch.
Yep.
Like no other word, nothing, just Anheuser-Busch. So
yeah, and Anheuser-Busch is not loyal to teams. They like to find drivers. And they've latched on to what Ross is.
There's nothing that Trackhouse is doing wrong right now, James. They're this is
what they've sponsors got, move, man.
What they've got going though is just freaking amazing. And then you got the Pitbull aspect as well. If you're Anheuser-Busch now, you're at a partnership with Pitbull. Who happens to tour around the country and sell beer, and
I'm going to say, I will say this, I'm going to be careful. Anheuser-Busch is working on its image right now, and it's a nice announcement to bring on the popular NASCAR guy right now. So I think that's smart on their end as well.
I'd be interesting to see if they switch their branding over next year and focus on the Bud Light brand just to try and improve it.
I don't know if they will. I think they're going to stick with Busch. It seems to me like they will stick with the Busch thing. But Eric, Anheuser-Busch was with Harvick for a long time.
Yeah, you don't think about the fact that they've been with him on the 29.
Yeah, like 2011. So yeah, it's been 12 years of being with Harvick.
Yeah,
and
I was there for that
teams.
first Budweiser race at Daytona, and he blew the motor.
That was great looking race cars.
That black 29 was so pretty.
Man,
that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yep.
How freaking awesome was it to see that 29 car rolling around?
I was going to ask you about this. Yeah, man.
So I was on the end of pit road where the car rolled off of pit road. The field was lined up on the other end, and Childress gave the command. All the cars fired up, and then he fired up that 29 car, and the whole place just roared. It sounded so good to hear that old, that Cup car fire.
I'm so glad you said that.
It was awesome. I tell you what, dude, you haven't been to a race with you haven't been to a race with a new car, right?
Not the new car, nope.
It is loud as shit.
Yeah, because they kind of scream a little bit.
It is so loud. I used my AirPods Pros because I have the old Legend scanner that used to have the track pass on it or whatever, that they don't have anymore. So, but it's still got the scanner built in, so I use that, and I can use Bluetooth to connect my headphones. So on Sunday, I used my AirPods Pros, and the noise cancellation wouldn't work because the cars were so loud. It was crackling.
Oh my God.
And then didn't do that for the Xfinity cars. They're loud. They're very loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a cool moment. I didn't know that they were going to have Harvick drive around out there with them. It was pretty touching. All the threes in the air.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see the threes. I tuned in a little afterwards. But I saw the stuff on social, and then you shared a picture of it, which was cool.
Yeah, I have.
When they announced that car. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have video of them driving down the front stretch
that's
together.
cool.
So.
Yeah, when they announced that car was going to be there, I texted you, I think, immediately, and I was like, I am jealous that you get to see that history making machine, because that's really cool, man. I mean, that's a moment.
Yeah.
Like all time, like when you think of all the great NASCAR moments that have ever happened, that car is in the top 5 or 10.
Oh,
of
yeah.
everything that's ever happened in the history of the sport. So
yeah, and it was noted on Sirius
cool.
this week that it's a cool moment for Harvick, but that win. That wasn't a Kevin Harvick win. That win wasn't.
That was a sport for everybody.
That was a win for the sport. It was a win for Richard Childress. It was a win for Dale Earnhardt. Harvick just happened to be the guy that did it and got to experience it. But that wasn't that moment. While a big deal for Kevin Harvick, was not a Kevin Harvick moment.
Yep.
But still cool that he gets to celebrate with Childress. I will say, before I almost died of heat stroke on Saturday, I got to see Richard on pit road. So I reached out, shook his hand. I said, "Richard, take care of that 29 car for us." He said, "Oh, we will."
Yeah, that's
walked
great.
away. Yeah, so. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to see it last year in the museum, so pretty cool to see it on the racetrack this year.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And he's done this a couple of times where he drove Dale's 2000 Talladega car too.
Yeah, he got in trouble Saturday too for doing burnouts, just for the record, which doesn't
with the 29
surprise me.
car.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he tried to.
I didn't hear about that.
He tried to do a burnout, and they yelled at him.
Who yelled at him? NASCAR?
NASCAR or somebody, I don't know. But Harvick mentioned it in one of his interviews, which doesn't surprise me because he got in trouble at Michigan when he was doing the pace car rides for driving too fast.
You rode with him.
Yeah, 160 miles an hour down the front stretch at MIS in the pace car.
Did you ever hear Marty Smith tell the story about doing a ride around with Jimmy Johnson? I think it was at Atlanta. Did you hear?
No.
I'll paraphrase it because I don't know word for word what happened. But apparently Jimmy was driving a street SS or a Monte Carlo Impala, one of those, and Marty was doing the ride along with him, and Jimmy took it into the corner so hard that he rolled the tire off the rim and had to park it. And basically Marty said they're lucky they didn't pound the outside retaining wall with the car rolling off the rim because Jimmy was going too hard in the street car. I
will say that's one thing that Childress did is he was flying down the straightaway, but we'd head into the turn and he'd slam on the brakes, and I think we were only doing like 80 through the turns at MIS. But
oh, that's crazy, man.
I saw some people whining because he wasn't wearing a helmet when he was driving the car.
Oh, who cares?
He didn't even go more than 70 miles an hour in that car.
Yeah, put a helmet on if you're gonna ride on the highway. Then,
yeah,
good grief.
He wore the belts. That was good enough.
I mean, golly, man, he's got to be in his 80s.
I think I think they said 77. I believe is what they said.
Yeah. So leave him alone. Who cares? Let him do whatever he wants.
He's a good dude. I love Richard Childress.
Yeah, man. I got to meet him once at Eldora. That was fun.
Yeah.
Was that the year? Well, you were standing there with me, weren't you? When we got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if that you've met him a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've gotten to meet him a few times. Well, I mean, like I said, the pace car ride will never beat that. That was pretty cool. So.
Yep. I made it my mission at Eldora that year to get the autograph of Austin Dillon on the ticket stub from the first race, and by God, I did it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he said something smart ass about Ty, which was great. I remember those. Those were good times.
Yeah, they were. I'm not gonna lie, I did check out his watch too when I reached out to shake his hand. Just for no pun intended, but just for old time's sake.
Yep.
With that, we got the announcement for our new Hall of Fame nominees, and sorry to say, Carl Edwards, you're not going in the Hall of Fame this year because old Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus are both on the ballot.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be first timers for sure.
need to be. Yeah, they need to be.
I mean,
That's
Jeff
what
Gordon
I said
didn't
when
get
Carl didn't get in last year.
Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't get 100%, so I'm sure Jimmy probably won't get 100%, but he should.
Oh, he will. No,
I
has
don't think
to.
he will. I don't think he won't get 100%.
If he doesn't, I'm gonna riot.
Yeah,
if
I
he
agree
does
with
not
you.
get 100%, I'm gonna riot.
I agree with you. He should.
If
get
anybody's
100%.
100%, it's Jimmy Johnson.
Honestly, if they gave both these guys 100%, I'd be okay with that.
Who the hell would vote no on Jimmy Johnson?
Right?
You just made me mad.
It'll happen.
That
Jim.
makes me.
It will not be
infuriates
100%.
me.
I'll bet you it will not be 100%.
All right, I'll take that bet.
It should be, but it won't be.
put
Freaking Moody
some stakes
probably
on it.
will vote against him.
Who in
Just to fire
in
you
the
up.
in their right mind would not vote for Jimmy Johnson? That's unbelievable. No,
Right?
I won't hear that. They need to go in together.
Donnie Allison also added to the list of nominees for the Legacy or whatever. I don't remember what the actual title of that award
Yeah,
is.
it's the there's the modern
Landmark.
era and the landmark era.
Pioneer.
Yeah.
No, Pioneer. Sorry.
Pioneer era.
Landmark's
Sorry.
already
Yeah.
set. So Neil Bonnet, Tim Brewer, Jeff Burton, Carl Edwards, Harry Gant, Harry Hyde, Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, Larry Phillips, and Ricky Rudd are all on the modern era ballot.
We only take 2 from the modern era, correct?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And then 1 pioneer and 1 landmark.
Yep.
Oh boy. Want to make your picks?
Pioneer is definitely up in the air. I mean, we don't need to pick on modern era, right? It's gonna be those two. There's no way.
They
it's
better.
anybody
If they
else.
don't, I'm gonna. First of all, I don't care if Chad's not unanimous. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
he
Jimmy
should
and
be
Chad
too.
need to go.
I mean,
need
Chad
to
should
go
be
together.
unanimous too. Yeah, they do. They will. There's no way. I mean, everybody's saying sorry, Carl. You know,
Well, Carl's got to wait. Harry Gant's got to wait. Jeff Burton's got to
gotta
wait.
Yeah, Neil Bonnet's got to wait.
Ricky Rudd, they got to wait.
Yeah,
Got to wait.
yep. Yeah,
They
there's
got 2
there's
7-time
no way.
champions.
Exactly. That's the thing. They're both 7-time champions. They got to go in first round.
They frustrated and dominated NASCAR for over 10 years.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yep. 1/7 of NASCAR's
Evernham went
entire
in first
history.
round, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Chad's got to, because Chad love Evernham, but Chad did more than Evernham.
He's the
did.
greatest crew chief of all time.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
And the greatest driver of all time.
100%.
So Pioneer ballot.
Yeah. Is it AJ Foyt's turn?
No, Sam Ard, I think, goes.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Sam Ard's got to go.
I mean,
Oh, Ralph Moody, maybe.
yeah.
Boy, Ralph Moody might. That
It's
was a
so
powerhouse
hard.
there for a minute.
It's so hard not to vote AJ Foyt, but we've talked on here before that it's not. AJ's accomplishments aren't NASCAR accomplishments. I mean, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but not necessarily the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
I mean, he won the Daytona 500, which is
Is that
that's
enough?
something.
Is that one Daytona 500? Is that enough?
Well, no, because Trevor Bain's not getting
Right.
in. But he did win 7 races too. He's AJ Foyt. Yeah. He'll get in eventually.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's. I don't.
I think it's Ard or Moody.
Yeah.
I mean, Ard's the greatest Xfinity Series driver of all time until Kyle Busch came along, and Mark Martin's probably on that list too. But Sam Ard's
Banjo Matthews is pretty good too.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's true.
He might not be known well enough, but I think for the voting members, he should be. The voting members should recognize. I mean, 250 NASCAR Cup Series races, won 3 championships with the cars that he built. That's pretty big.
I'll tell you who should get in for the Landmark Award. It's time to put Janet Guthrie in.
Yeah.
It's time.
I probably agree with you on that.
I think it's her time. Lisa France can get in another time.
Yeah, she'll be in eventually.
But yep, it'd be nice to have if you go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, we've both been. We should have the first female to compete in the Cup Series in the Hall.
You're right.
It's
You're
time
right.
to put her in.
I agree with you. I can't make an argument for anybody else here that deserves more than Janet.
I mean, Lisa France Kennedy's powerful, and
Yeah.
she's done a whole. I mean, she's an impressive, executive for many years. But she can wait another year. I think it's time. We gotta get one of our women drivers in there. I mean, we've got, Wendell Scott's in, and that's fantastic. We need to have Janet Guthrie in there.
To go back to the Pioneer ballot and make one more argument for AJ Foyt.
Oh, okay, let's have it.
I will remind you, again, as I do every year we make this discussion, that this is the NASCAR Hall of Fame and not the Hall of Accomplishments.
Correct.
So, if you go by fame, probably AJ Foyt or Donnie Allison.
Could
even.
be. I mean, Donnie was.
Donnie
did a lot. Yeah.
Donnie was in the fight,
Alabama
man.
game, man. Yep.
So, anyway.
He was a big fight.
There you go. There's your Hall of Fame. So,
Our yearly Hall of Fame talk.
yes. I don't know how long we've gone so far, James. So let's bust through this SRX stuff real quick. SRX Corner returns this week, though, because SRX is back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. on ESPN from Stafford Motor Speedway. Second time at Stafford or third time?
I think every year they've started with Stafford.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's the inaugural or the kickoff race for every SRX season so far.
So James was kind enough to pull these out, so I'll let James read them. James, who are our 8 going for the championship to start with?
Well, you've got your defending champion, Marco Andretti, inaugural champion, Tony Stewart. They will duke it out again. Joining them, Brad Keselowski will be going for the championship. I love that. Haley Deegan.
I like
Bobby
Haley's
Labonte.
running the full season.
Yep, Haley's running the full season. Bobby Labonte, Ryan Newman, and then Paul Tracy will be out there. And Ken Schrader will run for the championship.
That's an interesting one.
He has probably the most seat time of anybody who hasn't competed in very many races in the SRX series. He was the main tester for the inaugural season, and basically he's the guy who shakes all of the cars down. So he could be a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken can still wheel it. So
yes, he can.
Cool. Yep. So and then this race at Stafford, Eric, loaded.
Yes.
I mean, I mentioned Brad.
Yep.
But Brad's bringing his buddies with him, Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. And then Clint Boyer and Tony Kanaan will be in this one. So that's a fully loaded field. Ready to go.
Good field.
Yep. I think that's probably going to be, looking at all of the races ahead, this will probably be the best field outside of Berlin. I think Berlin's going to have the best. Berlin's going to have the best crop. You got Kyle Busch coming in.
Let's see. You got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 NASCAR championships at Berlin.
Yeah.
That's a good field.
Yeah. Plus a couple of Indy 500s with Helio Castroneves.
Right. Yeah.
That's
a good one.
Yeah. Berlin's going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stafford's going to be a lot of fun, man. Clint Boyer. I don't know when the last time Clint Boyer's raced.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yep.
Probably the last time was during COVID when he raced the digital cars, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and I should have thrown out there Casey Kane will be at Berlin too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves to see Casey behind the wheel, so that'll be fun.
Yep.
But yeah, what a oh man, I'm excited. This I'll be watching, man. I don't miss SRX races very often. It's one of my favorite things that happens every summer. I remember you and I talking about it when it was first coming out. We weren't sure, but I tell you, man, they put on a good show. It is a lot of fun. I think people are going to like it if they haven't checked it out yet. Now that it's on ESPN,
well, and
I'm
think
curious to see what it does.
Better than ever this year. And if you're not tuning in for the drivers, at least tune in for Alan Bestwick in the booth.
Oh my God, yeah, Bestwick will be there.
Love it.
Yep, and hopefully, Paul Tracy will be out there. He'll stir some stuff up.
Again, I will say again, Paul Tracy knows he's the villain and he plays the role well.
He plays the role of the villain.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
He definitely.
And no jokes about the fun flag this year. The fun flag is a good thing.
Yeah. Paul Tracy definitely made the series better the first two years, but not due to his quality of racing.
Remember when Tony Stewart grabbed Ernie Francis Jr. really hard around the shoulder? Oh my God.
Yeah, that was fake.
He was
playing.
You think everything Tony's listen
it up, man.
When Tony races on the dirt, he slows down so everybody can keep up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's Max Verstappen in the SRX series. He just has to slow down once in a while. It's okay.
Well, James, as long as the rain stops, we're going to have a race in New Hampshire this weekend.
Oh, shoot. They got the rain tires there. They'll be all right.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But they don't race in torrential downpours, so.
That's right, yeah.
I believe I beat you again this week, but only by 11 points.
You did, yeah, but you cut the lead down to less than 100.
Yes,
so you are making gains,
First
sir.
time in forever. And
You've beaten me 3 weeks in a row.
I'm going to throw an audible this week because
okay.
I was going to go with Ryan Preece as my pick here because I like Ryan Preece. And maybe I shouldn't tell you this because you'll pick him, but I don't think you'll pick him. But I was really liking him for this race, and I don't know, man. I don't want to take a Stuart Haas car right now. So I'm going to go with somebody else who is. It's surprising that I didn't have him on my list. Let me make sure one more time that I haven't already picked him before I make an idiot.
I'm highlighting him right now on the spreadsheet because I think I know who you're taking.
No, it's actually not him.
Oh. I know you're waiting up here, maybe at the very top.
Hold on, where is he at?
Oh, who are you looking for? Say it.
Did I pick Austin Cindric yet?
No, you have not. He's right here.
There he is. Okay, I'm picking Austin Cindric. That's my pick.
Wow, there you go.
Cindric ran well here last year. He also ran well at Gateway this year. I'm going with Austin Cindric.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
No, I got Reddick's penciled in.
You got Chastain penciled in too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was curious what you were going to do there.
Yep.
But all right. Sounds good. All right. Well, makes it interesting for me. Well, I've got some guys I can use looking at some results here from the past. And I need to get my momentum going again.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm running out of races
Jensen
here.
Button picks this week.
No Jensen Button. That wasn't a bad pick. I stand by that pick. I stand by Jensen Button.
17 points. Yeah, it was great. Almost as good as your Austin Dillon this week.
I mean, he was doing great. Austin Dillon was okay this week.
I think he bounced off the wall once, didn't he?
He did. He's struggling.
Yeah.
He's really struggling. I think he's going to be in the front office pretty soon. If not, and we can get him to retire the 3-car again. Oh man, let me go with. Oh man. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to take Chris Bell this week.
There you go.
Haven't used Chris yet, so give me Christopher Bell.
And then you have the fantasy update.
Yeah,
If you don't have it pulled up, I can tell you who won.
No. No, I got it. No, I'm stuck in a purgatory of 3rd to 5th place. It's just never ending.
Well, I'm stuck in the purgatory of right behind you. So.
Yeah. So our winner this week was. Go ahead, drum roll. Freight Train was our winner. Losing points to Barron Speedway always hurts, but he finished 2nd and I was 3rd. And Eric, you were 1 point behind me.
Yep.
So there you go. Overall standings for everybody who cares. It's always Barron Speedway at the top. Tandem Draftona is 2nd, but I'm in 3rd now. So I'm feeling good about that. Mickey Elliott is 4th. Green Eggs and Hamlin 5th. Eric, I got to go to 7th to find you.
Yeah.
But you're not too far. You and Ranger, not too far apart here. So
no. He's going to make a run. Maybe I'll follow him right up to the front.
3rd to, so my spot in 3rd all the way down to, I'd say you in 7th is just over 100 points difference right now.
I spent way too much time.
I'm almost 300 behind Barron.
I spent way too much time sitting in the grandstands this weekend playing with fantasy while I was at the race trying to pick right here. I had Corey LaJoie, but I pulled him out when he wrecked. So
yeah, I had Corey LaJoie too, and I bounced him out. God, Eric, I don't know, man. Barron Speedway can't be caught. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
He's almost up. He's almost up 200 on 2nd place right now. Oh my God. Yeah. Every time I look at it, I'm like, well, we're just fighting for 2nd. But then I get a little glimmer of hope because I have a good week, and then he beats me by 5 points. Goodness gracious.
Before we move on to shoutouts, I wanted to hit on one more thing from Atlanta that I forgot about. It's funny because I actually made notes sitting in the grandstands and forgot to include them.
Still forgot.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the stage 2 caution. So we had the caution with like 3 to go in stage 2, and we once again ran caution laps out so we could finish the stage, then run another caution lap.
I was waiting for you to talk about this. Yeah.
Can we just make a rule that after a certain, or when there's a certain number of laps, or if they can't restart, that we just end the stage there and pit? Do we really need to run the extra 3 laps?
You should talk to Green Eggs and Hamlin, because I had a text message that said the exact same thing.
I get the whole fuel mileage aspect and everything, but we do the same damn thing when we do green, white checkers, so who cares?
I said to him what I'll say to you. Like, it only happens once in a while. Who gives a crap?
It always seems to happen when I'm sitting in the stands.
It is. It's true. It does. It happened at Michigan when you were sitting in the stands. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't see the point in we just end the stage there. I mean, I get it, but we change everything else around, so who cares what's stopping us there? But
right.
That's it. Just wanted to get off the soapbox there. Shoutouts, James. I want to give a shout out to Marcus Smith and the folks at SMI, whoever was in the decision and iRacing, I guess, because I'll tell you what, we had 2 weeks of racing that were designed by iRacing this week or this year, the last 2 weeks, and both of them were great. Neither of those races happen without iRacing. Building these tracks and testing them and showing us that they work. So, but Marcus Smith for taking the risk and tearing this place up. A track that a lot of drivers liked. Very unpopular decision originally with the drivers. They were very unhappy about this change, and he created an amazing facility. Dale Jr. mentioned, I know he mentioned during the broadcast that this is now his favorite track, which previously it was Bristol Night, or favorite race. Previously it was Bristol Night. I think he mentioned, or they talked about, I think it was during a commercial break, or maybe it was during the broadcast. I don't know. They said that, I think it was Steve Letarte said that previously he would recommend people go to Bristol or somewhere else for their first race, but now he's going to start recommending they go to Atlanta. I agree. This summer race at night, 100% best ticket in NASCAR right now. I sat 2 rows from the top of the grandstands on the front stretch. And I think I paid $109 for my ticket. I mean, it took a freaking elevator to get in my seat, James. Like, I didn't even have to climb. You have to climb a hill to get up there. But I'll tell you what, Saturday we came in, we got to the shuttle spot. We hopped on a golf cart. The golf cart drove us right up to the entry gate. We gave our tickets to the entry gate. We go out. There's a hill that takes you up to a ramp that you have to go up to go to the grandstands. We get to the bottom of that. There's more golf carts there. We hopped on a golf cart there. They drove us literally right to our section. We got on the elevator, went up. We hardly walked 20 feet. It was incredible. Good. I'll tell you what. That'll work. I've been to 2 SMI tracks, Kentucky and Atlanta, for race weekends anyway, and just maybe it's because they have to work harder than NASCAR does. And I don't want to put down NASCAR's tracks because Michigan's great. I've had good experiences there. I didn't have good experiences in Chicago, but I still love the place. Darlington was good, but SMI just does something different, man. They've got it going at SMI tracks. So
cool.
There you go.
All right.
Any shout outs, James?
Yeah, a couple. I guess your neighborhood friendly short track racing that's going on. There was the Slinger Nationals. Yeah. That was pretty cool. A lot of our NASCAR folks showed up for that. Eric Jones and, there was a couple of guys out there. Byron was out there. And then also what's going on right now, which is a really cool event, is at Eldora Speedway, the Eldora Millions. Yeah. Eldora Millions going on right now. Kyle Larson tried to sting up the first heat, I think. So I'm watching on a little bit of it on Twitter, just checking out and seeing what's going on. But I would definitely be trying to watch a little bit of this before the weekend's over. So, but yeah, Eldora Million and then the Slinger Nationals.
There for a little bit. That cost Flow extra.
That's Flow Racing right now.
There you go. Don't get us sued.
Right? Oh, there it's off.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff going on. So there you go.
Nice. I'm going to jump in and give my black flag before we get to yours, because yours is gonna win. If there's such a thing as a winner on a black flag.
I wanted to claim it before you.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. I'm glad you did. So I'm gonna stick with Mid Ohio as well. I kind of want to give the entire Truck Series field my black flag. But I know you saw it probably, but did you see Lawless Allen get spun?
My favorite driver.
Through the gravel trap, stops a foot away from a paved road, and instead of backing up onto the paved road, drives right into the gravel trap, tries to drive it lengthwise, and gets stuck. What a freaking tool. Come on, man.
Greatest name in NASCAR, though.
Yeah,
So-
but he sure does make a fool out of himself.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I know. I saw it. There's a lot of stuff going on at Mid-Ohio I'd like to forget.
What a mess. Well, go ahead. What was the dumbest thing that happened in Mid-Ohio, James?
Well, Arca was there. And a driver by the name of Sean Hingorani. Did I get that right?
I think you got
Hingorani?
it right, yeah. You did as good as everybody did with Van Gisbergen the week before. So.
Yeah, there's no SVG for this one. Anyway, his teammate, Dean Thompson, in second place, heading to the checkered flag. But Sean decided to wait on him. And when he got to him, wiped out both cars and took his teammate out as Tyler Ankrum won the race. Tyler was going to win the race regardless. He was way out in front. But, Dean Thompson had a second place finish. He was dip battling for. So this is ridiculous. You can I put a link to the article in the show notes. Yeah. Eric, this was I gotta tell you, the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some stupid stuff, but my God.
You know, I heard a lot of arguments from people saying, well, he's young. He's 18 or 16 or something like that. I think he's 16.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
But it don't matter if you're racing at that level. I mean, I get Arca's not Cup, but Arca still is one of the premier NASCAR series. You know, it is one of the big four. Mm-hmm. It's a big stage, and if you're going to race at that level, you need to have the maturity to race at that level, regardless of how old you are. And I think this is an argument as to why, just because the kids have the talent to get into the car, doesn't mean they have the brains to get in the car. And stuff like this can hurt somebody. I mean, it didn't hurt anybody in this situation.
Career, yeah, and hurt people, yeah.
But Arca's sitting him for a week.
Yep, he's out. I was going to mention that he's out for a week.
What do you think is the worst punishment, the sitting out or the ass whooping he probably got from Venturini? Because I wouldn't piss off the Venturini folk.
I know he's 16, so I don't want to go too hard here. But this is the kind of stupid thing that you do that sticks with you forever, man. Yeah. I mean,
it's too bad this type of stuff happens in Arca frequently. Not usually between teammates, but it does happen in Arca frequently. And I'm not blaming Arca for that. You know, if Charlie Krall's listening to the podcast, I'm not blaming Arca. It's not Arca's fault. It's I think again, it's the aspect of having kids that don't have the maturity level, but have the skill level, getting in these race cars and being put on a big stage like this. And maybe there's something to be said about the Josh Berrys of the world that come up when they're actually mature enough to make smart decisions and not make an ass out of themselves. So
I mean, yeah, look at Ty. I mean, Ty Gibbs never did anything this egregious, but
right.
He raced tough, and I mean, and he raced in a way that hurt his reputation. But right now, he's having a really solid rookie season in the Cup Series, and he hasn't had one scrap. So yeah, hopefully that's the path that you got to learn a little bit and cool it just a little bit.
Ty Gibbs did some dumb stuff, and yes, Ty Gibbs wrecked his teammate.
Nothing like this.
But yeah, he didn't sit on him and wait on him to do it.
No,
you know,
no.
That was racing for a win. That's different.
Yep.
I mean, it was still stupid, but it was different.
Yep.
It don't get dumber than this.
And Ryan Priest was chiming in on this, and I this is in the article too, but he echoes what you said, Eric, and he's like, this at this level, like if you're at this level, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a guy who's been up, got knocked down, and has fought his way back. So
yeah.
Something and the other, I think the funniest thing about this too, Arca Menard's series, their Twitter posted this and was just basically making content out of it, and I just thought, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Like maybe don't make content out of something so bad. But I guess, you know, Sean's going to be embarrassed by this for a while. It's going to take a little bit to overcome this one. It's definitely going to hang over his head the rest of the season and probably for a while afterwards. Yep. So.
Yeah, it's too bad. And again, there's a lot of reputation there for Venturini Motorsports, and you know they don't want this crap going on. So
he's in a good car. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
like, that's the best car in the sport, a Venturini car. You know,
I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
So,
well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, there's not very many fast cars in the Arca series, so when you get one of those and you do something like this, that's hard to bounce back from.
Yep.
Because Big Bill, he'll come in there and sit your butt down. He's pretty ruthless.
He said it doesn't matter how much money you're bringing to the table. Big Bill ain't gonna mess with this stuff.
Yeah, Big Bill will find the money. He'll find the money.
Yep. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That was the dumb move of the week. Sorry for the kid. He's young, but hey, you're gonna put yourself in that situation. You gotta deal with the consequences, and well, he gets a week to think about it. So.
Yep.
There you go. Anything else, James, before we move on out of here? I feel like we've been on this podcast for like 2 hours. I don't know how long.
Let's send him home, buddy. Let's send him home.
Where can people get you on social media if they want to chat with you?
I like how you did that. At James Cush on Threads.
Nice.
I will not say the other. I will not say Twitter anymore. Threads.
Well, I am at TSuperspeedway on Twitter, but I also am at eyoungdbm on Threads. So you can get me there as well. Facebook, the podcast is on there at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website for the podcast is thesuperspeedway.com. I paid the bill for the domain, so it's working again. Sorry about that. That's good. It might be. There's another bill that has to be paid though, so there's a chance it might not work. So if it doesn't, well, you know where to find the podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Anchor. Honestly, there's nothing on the website anymore anyway, guys. Just subscribe to the podcast. I'd love to write some more stories and stuff, but maybe we'll do that when I go to Michigan this year, but we'll see. But mostly just listen to the podcast. That's what we're here for each week. Subscribe for new episodes each week. And if you go to anchor.fm/thesuperspeedway, you can leave us an audio message and we might play it on the show. NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series head to Loudon, New Hampshire this weekend. Hopefully we'll see an Xfinity race and a Cup race. If not, hopefully the team's brought some boats and we can race some boats. Either way, we'll be back next week to break it all down and discuss it all and preview the following weekend. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.